hear that many small businesses may have trouble thinking of ways that AI can work for their business. Could you tell us more about that?
Sure. So, as we alluded to, small businesses have different needs and obstacles that they may run into when trying to optimize their business for whatever reasons, right? But broadly speaking, the small business really still has a lot of possibilities for AI, and they largely fall into buckets. So, in a small business, you'll often want to generate sales and profits, so optimize for that. That's one very key point where AI makes a lot of sense. Because you have a small staff, you may want to look at automating a part or a large part of customer interactions. You really just never know how many people you might need to serve all your customers, especially if you're doing well, because that's the crux of it all. If you are doing well, you're going to have to hire a bunch more people. So in order to do that well, you're also going to need to figure out how to discern whether the talent's great. So a platform or a model or an AI that looks at recruitment as a holistic process and optimizes that for you could be very useful. Generally, most businesses, especially in the software space, but really just about any business, should be looking at some unfair advantage or some moat or defensibility that they're putting around themselves. And as you might imagine, injecting AI into your main process, solution, or business probably gets you some of the way there. Some kind of IP protection helps a little bit, but realistically, if you're doing things in a more automated fashion, you're probably going to do better than the other small businesses who are trying to do things in a very manual way. Trying to attract customers to your business, you're obviously going to run into all kinds of marketing and advertising. You might imagine there's a lot of AI built in the world to try to optimize both the spend and the kind of marketing that you might be looking to do, and obviously keep the cost low because you are a small business and you want very targeted niche kind of campaigns. This next thing kind of gets brushed aside often or not thought of very much, but really all about online security, whether that's cybersecurity, any kind of online security. But there are ways to assess risk and to secure things much better, whether that is your app or your data or your people or your processes, using artificial intelligence. Next, we're looking at the ability to budget and forecast better. And we've talked a lot about this in the past, especially in the world of document intelligence, using document intelligence to ingest a lot of the lost brains of those documents and agreements allows for the ability to do slightly better budgeting and forecast. There's also the ability to increase productivity, focus, and flow. That one's big. It's always been a large ask from usually the board all the way down to every tactical person. And now we've also thrown a wrench into the whole thing because we have hybrid working arrangements, remote work, flexible work hours, right to disconnect. All these kind of things are kind of just thrown at, managers of people, and very often they don't have the tool set to actually affect this the best way. And then finally, just as you might imagine, gathering and analyzing all kinds of data sets is obviously part and parcel for artificial intelligence, and there's a myriad of tools for that, and there's a myriad of tools for each kind of workload that you might face in that world as well.